What's up, everybody? It's Brandon Trax Hyatt on a very special edition on Saturday of Chicago Sports Podcast. We are coming to you because we have some breaking news. It broke a little bit ago, but we're doing the best we can to get it out when we can. Basically, DeRozan is we've heard a lot of talk, a lot of chatter about him being moved and shipped out from the Chicago Bulls. And then we're going to get into the Sky in a little bit too. For all the Sky members, all the fans out there, be patient with us. We're going to get through the Bulls really. We get through the Bulls and then we'll get to the Sky. But yeah, so DeRozan is currently on his way to Sacramento to meet with the team. So that's very interesting because up until this point, I haven't really had that feeling that it could happen. Every year they talk about trades, they talk about people being moved, chopped around, this and that. And then, nothing really happens. We get somebody and it's just nothing major. DeMar DeRozan is actually one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player on the Bulls, just on his work ethic alone and his ability to just really adapt and overcome. I mean, you've seen him. He's been known to take shots well after a game. If he misses a shot, he's really hard on himself. He'll spend hours before and after preparing for the next game and fixing, his errors and whatnot. Very hard worker from California, Central California, Southern California, and he's a big fan of Kobe Bryant, and he basically tries to pattern a lot of his traits and his game style and preparation and whatnot. And I remember when Kobe used to do that, he'd spend hours after a game. Everybody would clear and go home, and he'd just be shooting and shooting and shooting away. And it seems like all the greats do that. And post Derrick Rose, I'd have to say, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just a personal opinion. Post Derrick Rose, he's by far one of my favorite, if not my most favorite impact player on our team. I just don't think we really built around him as well as we could. It's kind of been by trial and error. So everybody in YouTube Nation, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so every time that we're on and we're making content, usually there's more than just me up here. There's usually a couple more, but during the 4th of July weekend, everybody's spreading out with friends and family. So I'm holding it down, and I assure you they hold it down for me when I got things to rise. We're a community, we're a team, and we love having you out there. So thank you, everybody, across all the platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, XApp. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Cheryl, how you doing today? Hope all's well. Hope you had a good 4th. One of my favorite DeMar DeRozan Bulls moments would have to be exactly what I just said a little bit ago, his preparation, the way that he takes this game so seriously. I really feel like some guys just pull up, grab their gym bag out, lace it up, throw their jersey on, head out there and get ready for the game. Not saying that they do things behind the scenes or whatnot, but when you talk about a hard worker, that's what DeMar DeRozan reminds me of. And I also like how he's played on other teams in the past, and I'm sure if he goes to Sacramento, he will be an immediate impact player over there for Sacramento. He had a community impact too. He did a lot of things for the community. We loved him for that. Chicago loved him for that. He was a really good role model, and I loved what he did. He was great. One thing in particular that I will say about the Sacramento deal is that he is really going to do the same thing over there. I think he's going to be an immediate impact player and really help that team out. That team looks really good. They're definitely going to appreciate him and what he brings to the table right away. Thanks for that Cubs update. Apparently, Cheryl says that the Angels are up 1-0 on the Cubs at the top of the second. So thank you for that. She will be continuing to bring those Chicago sports updates. So as far as I'm aware of, the only team that's playing today right now is the Chicago Cubs. I know the Sky they play later on this week. So yeah. And as far as he's definitely going to make that team very competitive, and they are going to look a lot better in the West. And you have to do that in the West because they're just designed to they're just a lot better. I think the Western Conference is a lot better than the East. Now the East has been steadily making them themselves better, not only through free agency and trades and whatnot, but just all around. They're getting a lot better. So hey, and the championship came out of the East this year. So yeah, they're starting to climb out of that hole that they put themselves in for a little while where it was just all West. But still, I would still say that the West has the edge for sure. You guys can let me know what you think. Leave some comments if you want. Yeah, so Cheryl is saying that the White Sox game with the Marlins begins at 2:10, so that'll be here momentarily. That you'll be getting updates on Chicago Sports Podcast for both Cubs and Sox while we break down the Bulls' potential DeMar DeRozan for sure. It definitely seems like for sure he's played his last game in a Chicago Bull jersey, especially traveling back there. I mean, like I said, he's from California, so this could be, a lot of players like to finish up their careers where they came from, and rightfully so. So, kind of coming around full circle, you know what I mean? What the Bulls should look for in return as far as players and picks. I've heard Kevin Huter's name, being thrown out there. I kind of like him. He averages about 10 points a game, good shooter. I don't really see him as a defensive player. We kind of need some of that, but we definitely need some more offense. So that'll help. But I think this is more of a salary, cap clearing. And I think hopefully we can get a draft pick out of this. I don't expect like a top 5 draft pick from SAC. I don't even know if they have that, but hopefully we can get mid to late draft pick from those boys. I don't really see anybody that they would want to shop over to us that was going to be, big impact for us, but hopefully help us out and have some sort of role, either on the bench or a starter or something. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I think what happens next between Vooch and Lonzo's camp is saying that he's going to be on the team this year. I believe Lonzo also says he's going to be on the team this year. So I think he comes back. I think he plays. I think, that's why we went out and got the young gun Giddy. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to start out, and then they're going to slowly work Lonzo into the fold. And rightfully so. You take time with that because that injury that he had was once. I've only heard of, I think, one other player. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that player never made it back. Out onto the court. So got over 100 in the chat already, and across all platforms, over 100. So yeah, if anybody else wants to leave a comment or drop something, feel free. We'll talk about it. And but yeah, as far as what happens next with the Bulls, I think Vooch is probably going to get shot. Um, he just doesn't seem like his role and what he does fits what we're doing. It just seems like he's out of place. It just doesn't have the right feel. We need some more defense for sure. I think that's part of it. And we need just some more gritty explosiveness, and he just doesn't have that. And he's just never really been a favorite of mine. He did just play an overseas game a couple days ago with his country, and he looked really good there. I wish he played that hard, for us. But yeah, so Zoe, I think he'll be here for at least this year. I think he does move on. We got a 2-year contract. He exercised his player option to go ahead and sign that, rightfully so. I don't know if anyone would take a flyer on him at this point with his health being a concern because nobody really knows. He hasn't really signed off on that yet. He says he's good. They show him in practice and all that, but he's not really doing an impact, practice. And we don't really see like how long those practices are and how he's able to hold up through a full, season, full 82 game season. So that's to be determined, and you won't really be able to see that until it happens. Yeah, I think that's the 2 salary dumps that could come up next after DeRozan. But after DeMar DeRozan is gone, which is a huge amount of money once he clears the books, not sure when that will be. Hopefully this year. I don't really have an answer to that. I do know that on Chicago Bulls Central, I believe that they were talking about Drip Hayes, also known as Hayes. He was talking about all that and getting into detail. I haven't been able to watch his video yet, but very detailed. If you get a chance to go look over there at Chicago Bulls Central, him and all them boys are very got a lot of information and knowledge when it comes to the Bulls. We carry and we follow and help bring out news from the other teams. We're more Bears centric and definitely have a Cubs presence with the players that we've came in contact with and have them on our platform, but we do our best to cover all of them. So yeah, but Hayes does a great job over there with C-Dub and all those guys. So yeah, check him out. But he had a very in-depth one. And matter of fact, when he was done, was saying that DeMar's more than likely gone since he's traveling to Sacramento. I said, well, I should do my due diligence and make sure that I get out here on this platform and give you guys, the news too. So, but yeah, so outside of that, I think that's pretty much it for the DeMar DeRozan. We'll keep our ears and eyes peeled. We're waiting for something to drop. Once we do, we will try to bring it out to you. Now, I do want to talk about our ladies over there with Chicago Sky. Man, oh man, oh man. They are surprising me. And the reason why is because you have 2 rookies on the team that are dominating. They're getting 8 to 10 rebounds a game. Obviously, Angel is getting, double doubles. I think she's on her 12th or 13th, 14th. So, I mean, it's just hard to keep up. She's amazing. She had nearly 30 points last night. It's very difficult to get darn near 30 points and double-digit rebounds. Also, that lady is really coming on in a rookie season, man. She's growing right before our eyes. It's really cool. And Kamala, she is doing really good too. She got 8 rebounds last night, I believe 13 points. They ended up winning. Very good win. They're winning more they're winning more than they have before, and that's important. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress when it comes to a team with 2 first-round draft pick rookies, and those ladies are going to grow in themselves. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go ahead and move on, and not move on from us, but that they end up that they actually end up doing really good as far as getting us to the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chicago Sky was in the playoffs this year. The way they're going, they're playing very well. They just ended up winning again last night. Huge win. I mean, for me, when I see them, beat a team like the Storm was 13-6 before they went and played the Sky. You know what I mean? Oh, wait a second. No, it wasn't the Storm. I'm sorry. The Storm is who they play next. Forgive me, guys. Let me get right back to it. I got my notes crossed up. Yeah, no, they did play the Storm. I guess they're going to play them again on Sunday. That's amazing. So they just played them yesterday. Now they're going to play them Sunday at 5 p.m. So yeah, like I said, 13-6 they were before they played our Sky, and the Sky ended up winning by 4 points. It was a great game. And honestly, they are doing really good lately. They've that Fever game that they had, I thought they did pretty good. The Dream, they beat the Dream, they beat the Sun, they beat the Mystics. Yeah, they've they only lost by 1 on the 1st of June to the Fever. So a lot is happening, and like I said, these ladies are growing right before our eyes. They're doing really good. And that's not to take away anything from the other ladies. It's just that these rookies are something that we follow. Angel Reese and Camilla. We follow them because they're new on the team and they're supposed to be doing really good and bring an immediate impact. And that's exactly what they're doing. So shout out to them and what they've been able to accomplish already. Really excited, for all of that. So outside of that, I think that they have a bright future. I think that they're building something and trying to find their identity and what they have exactly on the team and making adjustments for the future. I don't really think that they're really have decided yet on how they're going to play and whatnot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they change it up a little bit. And this looks a little bit different in terms of what they look like this year and what they look like next year. Because the draft comes, free agency comes, they can always change, add to, and whatnot. So it's possible that we could see different shades of this team, and that they're just not fully exactly what exactly what they are. But if I didn't say so earlier, I wanted to say to you guys, happy Independence weekend, Chicago. You know what? And it is a very new. It's a very new day in Chicago as the Bulls finally ignited the rebuild project. And the phenomenal Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky are ascending before our very expectations, and rightfully so. Like I said, welcome to a big time summer Saturday hoop in Chicago. And like I said, I want to get back to some more DeRozan stuff, but right now I just want to focus a little bit more on the Angel of the Sky segment that we're currently on right now and show them some love because they've been doing really good. With Angel Reese turning into an all-star rookie this season and filled with a record-shattering run of double-doubles, the Chicago Sky are ascending on a playoff course. And I got a question for you guys. Why do you think has Angel Reese been able to avoid both hitting the rookie wall and the hard WNBA learning curve? I think that's because she's not going to back down. She's a hard worker. She rolls up her sleeve, and I think she's very intelligent. And I think she's she talks a lot, she chirps a lot, she has fun with that. But I think when it comes down to sharpening herself and being an expert in her craft, that she really pays attention and listens to the details. I think that's what it is. She's just a hard worker, relentless, man. Very, very gifted too. I saw her shoot a couple threes last night, and she's opening it up a little bit more. So that's cool. I think Angel and the Skies are writing the open chapter of a Chicago women's basketball renaissance, because you have these young ladies that are starting and growing together, and that's very important. In the NBA, they say you need 3 superstars. Well, quite honestly, I feel like they already had one in the building, and now Angel and Camilla are growing into 2 others. So it's going to take a little bit of time. They're not there. You still see some things that they need to work on, but they're working on them, and I think it's really good. I think the ceiling for Angel and the Sky this season, like I was saying earlier, is the playoffs. I really think that they can make it to the playoffs, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made it past the first round. I don't know how deep they'll go. I mean, you still got to get through Vegas, and and all of that. But I mean, really, I think that they could do some damage, and that'll be really cool. It was just a few years ago where, the Sky was wrecking shop. So I'd like to see that happen. I'd like to see the Chicago, now shifting back to the Chicago Bulls. So that concludes our segment of Chicago Sky. But back to the Bulls, I'd really like to see them build, on top of this rebuild. I mean, how many rebuilds have we been into? And let's not get it twisted. They did make some errors along the way for a few years, but I really feel like they're trying to correct those errors right now. So we need to focus on the positive and eliminate the negative, and accentuate the positive for sure. Make sure, because it's easy to focus on the negative parts, but moving forward, I think the Bulls starting guard, impending departure officially makes a statement that the franchise is tearing it all down and rebuilding for a new day behind Kobe White and company. And I really think that's what's happening. I think Kobe's going to end up being 25, 30-point guy. He looks great, man. Anytime they give him something, he just takes it on and just, continues to grow and show that he's getting better, I think the biggest question is a lot of people have that they're asking me and around Chicago sports is, what do the Bulls lose the most with DeMar leaving? I think it's his leadership, his attention to detail, trying to be the best he can be at his craft, trying to, redefine himself and be the best he can be. And I mean, that speaks at a very high level, because, make no mistake about it, he's not no spring chicken anymore. At 35 years old, at some point there could be a little get up or let up, and he's not letting up. He's every year he brings it, and I think that's what we're going to be missing, is that veteran leadership, his hard work ethic, and all of that. And really, sharpening his tools and just trying to be the best he can be in his craft. Um, I think, folks, his landing spot is going to be Sacramento. I really do. I mean, not to say that he can't go off with the Clippers, and I don't really know what the Clippers have per se as far as trade. I haven't heard anything about that, but I wouldn't mind looking at the Clippers. Maybe they have more to offer than Sacramento. At the end of the day, as Hayes said on his show, Chicago Bulls Central, highly doubt that we get a early first round draft pick, but if we did, I would have to say at this point that we won that trade. But I think they're definitely trying to get something and offload his salary. Um, as far as who can and will replace his production, I don't think it's going to be anybody that we trade out there. I think it's going to be somebody in house. This doesn't mean that we are going to be playoff contenders and go deep into the playoffs, but I do think that with the emergence of the youth and building around our youth and what we have, and maybe finding a seasoned veteran out there that fits what we're trying to do, I do think that might be the answer. Because as I see it, I say Kobe's a star, but I don't consider him a superstar. Not yet. I think that takes time. Outside of that, we really don't have anybody else. We need at least two, possibly three. And I don't see Kobe really scaring people, like that, and that's kind of what you need, about 2, 3 guys. So I think the asking price for him should be at least a first rounder, and probably utility player, maybe somebody, if we're lucky, a sixth man or somebody coming off the bench. I don't know if we get a starter. If we do, it's probably somebody with mid 20, K salary and whatnot, and something that we would have to take on, where it would just be really nice to get another youngster and just offload as much of that money that DeRozan asks and deserves. Really, he deserves it. After DeMar's move, I think the best thing to do would be just to use who we've got from our trades, from the free agency, and just kind of build around that, and then get right into trying to shop Vooch, and try to see what we're going to do with our new players that distribute the ball. We need to look at distribution. We need to look at assists. We need to look at trying to make these players better. I think we just got too many ISO guys on the team, and I think that's why DeMar is being shopped. As far as Zach goes, I don't know. I feel like we're stuck. And I hope things work out for the good, but that contract is something to be less desired. I feel like we'd have to eat some of his contract, or a lot of it, and probably shop him off, to the Lakers or something like that. But it just seems like all those guys that we thought were the answer are just not working together, and they probably will do better on other teams. So I think the next move is just to keep moving guys out of here and keep seeing what we got and what can work good with Billy Donovan's coaching style. I don't think Billy Donovan is horrible. I don't think he's the best out there, but I also don't think you get the best out there right now. I think you get the Billy Donovans. I would like to see Mark Jackson. That'd be great, and that'd be very cool if we could do that. It almost seems like they're trying to keep him out of the league or something. I don't know. But yeah, Cheryl says the Angels are up 2 and the Cubs are down no score on the board for the Cubs after 2 innings. So, um, like I said earlier, Zach Levine having like 0 and no first round trade value. You almost have to think that the Bulls are going to try to repair their relationship with their estranged and often injured star. And I don't really know how they do that because it seems like both sides have just had enough. And I was hoping that something would happen, but maybe it takes DeMar getting shipped off, and then now they start looking at Zach. Maybe he's the next person. Maybe that's what's holding him back from getting moved on. As far as trade collateral, I think I think what we could look at, like I said earlier, is Vooch being traded, depending on if he's that final piece that people, a team needs out there. He could definitely get us a first round draft pick or something like that if somebody's stacked, or just values, that piece more than they value their draft pick. It's really hard to get a guy to perform at his level as a rookie. So if they're 1 to 2 years away from, possibly chasing that chip or getting deep into the playoffs and making more, money for their franchise, they might go ahead and make this move and say it's well worth it to go out and get Vooch. Maybe he fits their system better. I'm sure he fits somebody's system. He's not terrible. He's not dumb. He gets double doubles. He scores lots of points. He gets rebounds, more on the offensive side than the defensive side. But I think they're moving farther away from contending. But that's only because you got to tear it down before you build it up. I feel like they're almost in that situation that the Bears just went through. So it's going to take 2, 3, 4 years before we really see them do something, and then where we can actually start to really see what we have. I think it's going to require some patience. And I know a lot of us don't really have that patience because we haven't really seen a good product out there since Derrick Rose left. And I think we all knew that Derrick Rose, as great as he was, that we weren't going to go all the way with just, a couple stars, that we needed three superstars. But it shows a lot about Derrick Rose because, he didn't want any help. He wanted to do it with what he had on the team, and he wanted to beat all the other guys. And he kind of reminded me a lot like Michael. And I respect the heck out of a guy like that. I think that's great. So yeah, I'm happy. I love the way Chicago sports is trending. I love what's going on. I remember hearing back in '84 that Ditka used to use the '84 Cubs as motivation for the '84 Bears, who later won the '85 Super Bowl. I really hope this happens in Chicago, where people are looking at the Bears saying, look, we need this. We need to be like this team. We need to build from the inside out. We need to make smart moves. We need to make it a full, well-rounded roster and build a great winning culture. And that is starting to look like something that's happening with the Blackhawks. You guys know I'm not really in depth when it comes to the Blackhawks, and Michael and a couple other guys really helped me out in terms of that. Sean, obviously, Cleat covers, hockey in Iowa at a pro level and whatnot. Coop is a little bit, defined when it comes to the hockey and whatnot. But I really feel like from hearing from those guys and listening to these signings that the Blackhawks are just going to town and getting a bunch of guys and whatnot. And every time I hear that it's a good signing and all that kind of stuff, that makes me feel really good that they're building around Bedard and giving him the best shot that they can to watch him grow up right before our very eyes and excel at a high level because they're giving him all the tools. So he's not just the one guy out there just getting banged up and beat up, and everybody's just, all eyes are on him. They're trying to bring more in, so you can't just be one dimensional. So I think that's going to happen. I think the Cubs, they're going to have to find their way, baby. I mean, they've got a lot of holes. They've got a lot of answers, but they have a lot of questions left. The Sox, I don't know what's going on with there. I feel really bad for the fans of the White Sox on the South Side. It just feels like outside of the summer, campfire shake, bring your dog to the park day. They don't really have a whole lot of answers, and good food, but and a lot of fun. They tailgate out in their lots and stuff, so that's cool. But and this the cost to get in is cheap. There's some good things going on out there, but as far as a winning culture and keeping the fans happy and proud to be a Sox fan, it's going to take a little bit more. But yeah, like I said, sky's on the come up. Bears, obviously. I mean, this is the year, baby. This is the year to establish and show that we mean business and that all these moves meant something. And we're gonna strike iron while it's hot, because honestly, that schedule is gonna help us. It's the North is ripe for the taking, and anyone in the North except for the Purple People Eaters, I don't think the Vikings are in contention. I don't think they're ready. I think they're little. They got a setback when they lost some of their defense as well as their quarterback. So, but they will be on the come up soon. I really think the NFC North is going to be that pearl. I think they are going to be the tough division, and everybody's going to look at Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, the Bears, and then finally the Vikings. We're all going to be giving each other, some tough games. And anytime that they're playing the NFC North, they're going to feel it, So I think that's pretty much it for all of the summer. That's just kind of a recap of what's been going on, but more so on DeMar and the Bulls and Chicago Sky. So I hope you've enjoyed this segment. I hope that we were able to bring you some new information, have a little bit of fun on this 4th of July weekend, and, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy your weekend, be safe, watch out for them digits, and please hit that like and subscribe button. We like hanging out with you and spending time. Hit that notification bell so you know when our next show like this is popping up. I mean, who knows? Might be a couple more minutes before we hear that the trade with DeMar is officially complete, and then we can really see what's gonna transpire in terms of the free agency and trades and whatnot, and what's gonna happen next. I think we're the Chicago Bulls are far from over. So so enjoy the Cubs and Sox games, and like I said, pretty soon the Sky game will be on in a couple more days. So enjoy all that, and peace out, guys. Chi-town up, bear down.